Hi there. So we're going to be doing some more SAT no calculator math practice today. We have 8 of the normal multiple choice questions like we had before. This time we got a couple short answer ones at the end too. So let's get going. A painter will paint n walls with the same size and shape in a building using a specific brand of paint. The painter's fee can be calculated by the expression NKLH, where n is the number of walls, K is a constant with units of dollar per square foot, L is the length of each wall in feet, and H is the height of each wall in feet. The customer asks the painter to use a more expensive brand of paint. Which of the following factors would change? Well, if we're just changing the brand of paint, we know we're not changing the number of walls, we're not changing the height of the walls, and we're not changing the length of each wall, so we got to be changing the constant with units of dollar per square foot. And if it's expensive and we're dealing with dollars, that makes sense too. So our correct answer here is going to be C. 3r equals 18. What is the value of 6r plus 3? Okay, r equals 18. Divide each side by 3. R equals 6. 6 times 6 plus 3, 36 plus 3. 39. Sounds good. Choice D. Let's keep moving. Which of the following is equal to a to the 2/3 for all values of a? We had a similar problem like this in the last practice session, I think, or maybe two before, where if we have a number, let's say x to the y, z, let's call it that, then we know that's going to be the square root, or I'm sorry, not the square root, the z root of x to the y. So if we just keep that in mind and move on over here, that's going to be the cube root of a squared. It's just that easy. It's just these are you're going to get a correct one there. Number of states that joined the United States between 1776 and 1849 is twice the number of states that joined between 1850 and 1900. 30 states joined between 1776 and 1849, and X states joined between 1850 and 1900. Which of the following is true? Okay, so if we have 1776 to 1849 right here, we have 1850 to 1900, and we want to set them equal. Well, if you know there's 2 times the amount of states here, to keep this side and this side equal, we know we're going to need a 2 over here to keep it balanced. And then that means if we have 30 joining, correct, 30 between 1776 and 1849, and x joining over here, well, our equation is just simply then 2x equals 30. Answer choice B. Sounds good. Oftentimes with these, if one side of, for example, if this left side here was said to be 2 times, that means in our equation, our 2 is going to get over here. And it goes the same thing with any constant term. So if it was 1/2 the size over here, 1/2 would go to the other side of the equation because you want to keep everything balanced. Okay, if 5 over x, equals 15 over x plus 20, what is the value of x over 5? The first thing that I see here that I want to do is a good old trick called cross multiplying, where we're just going to multiply these two together and multiply these two together. Draw our little x there. So we're going to have 5 times x plus 20 equals x times 15. 5x plus 100 equals 15x over here. Subtract our 5x from each side. 100 equals 10x. X equals 1. Oh, I'm sorry. X does not equal 100. X just equals 10 then. But we don't want to get a little too giddy here and just go over here and hit answer choice A, because remember we're looking for the value of x over 5. Plugging 10 in for x. 2. So remember, not get too excited. Go over there and hit answer choice A, because they're going to trick you. That's how they get you. All right, we got a nice system of equations here. If xy is the solution to the system, so I have x minus y. Okay, we're not going to let this trick us. We're going to make sure we find x minus y. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is try and solve by elimination, so I'm going to multiply my first equation by 3 over 2. And that's going to turn it into 3x minus 9 over 2y equals 3 halves of negative 14, negative 21. Okay, let's bring that down over here. And then my other original equation, 3x minus 2y equals negative 6. Subtracting this whole thing, 0. Negative 9 halves y plus 2y, because double negative, is going to be negative 5 halves y equals negative 21 plus 6, double negative again, going to be negative 15. Rewriting my equation right down here. I'm going to multiply each side by negative 2 over 5 equals 30 over 5, which is just 6. Plugging that back in, switch our colors up here. 2x minus 3 times 6 equals negative 14. It's going to give me 2x minus 18 equals negative 14. Adding 18 to each side, 2x equals 4, or x equals 2. Okay. Do a little subtraction here. X minus y, 2 minus 6, going to give me negative 4. Answer choice C. Sounds good. Alright, the function f is defined by a polynomial. Some values x and f of x are shown in the table above, which value must be a factor of f of x. So we're looking when y equals 0 and y is equal to f of x. Y and f of x, same thing. Talking about the same thing here. So we're going to be looking at this right here. So which of our answer choices can we plug in x equals 4 and get a return value of 0? Well, 4 minus 2 is not 0. 4 minus 3 is not 0. 4 minus 4 is most definitely 0. And 4 minus 5 is not 0. So we're looking at answer choice C here for this one. The line y equals kx plus 4, where k is a constant, and graphed in the xy plane. If the line contains the point CD, where C cannot equal 0 and D cannot equal 0, what is the slope of the line in terms of C and D? Okay, so we have CD. Working for slope, which is going to be y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Okay. And from our equation, y equals mx plus b, we have y equals kx plus 4. So we know our y-intercept is going to be 4, meaning when x is 0, y is 4. Okay. We have two equations here to work with. So if we take y1, d, minus y2, 4. Let me label these for you. x1, y1, x2, y2. Because all we need is 2 points to find slope. D, y1 minus y2, minus 4, over x1, c, minus x2, 0. Simplify a little bit there. Enough with that. Let's look back at our answer choices. It's going to give us answer choice A. Sounds good. If x is greater than 0, what is one possible solution to the equation above? X cubed times the quantity x squared minus 5 equals negative 4x. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute here. Remember, we add our exponents when we multiply. So we're going to add that 4x over here. And remember, this right here is going to yield 5 because when we multiply, we add our exponents. Okay, sounds good. Equals 0. I'm going to factor out an x minus, I'm sorry, that's incorrect there. We factored out an x. So it's going to be x to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 4. And I'm going to just say my random value u equals x squared. Then when I rewrite this, this is going to be u squared minus 5u plus 4, which looks like we can factor. So I'm going to say x times u minus 4, u minus 1. Because Negative 4 times negative 1 equals 4. Negative 4 plus negative 1 equals 5. Those are C values and B values in our quadratic, some basic factoring here. Okay, so that means that when I plug x back in, do that right up here, I'm going to have x times x squared minus 4 and x squared minus 1, plugging u back in. So we know the solutions to our equation are going to be when all these quantities equal 0. So we have x equals 0, x squared minus 4 equals 0, and x squared minus 1 equals 0. That's one solution right there. Let's keep going. X squared equals 4. Taking the square root, we're going to get x equals plus or minus 2. X squared equals 1. Taking the square root, we're going to get x equals plus or minus 1. So let me grab my red pen here. We're going to have to eliminate some solutions. One possible solution, given x is greater than 0, well, that's gone. Negative sign's gone here, and our negative sign's gone there because we've got to be greater than 0. So any value of 2 or 1 would work for this free response question. All right, if 7/9 x minus 4/9 x equals 1/4 plus 5 over 12, what is the value of x? Okay, this is pretty straightforward here. We just got to work with some fractions. So on our left side, 7/9 minus 4/9 is going to be 3/9 x equals, we're going to have to get a common denominator here, which I'll do right up here, 1/4. The common denominator of 12 can be written as 3 over 12, multiplying the top and bottom by 3. Color. 3 plus 5, adding our numerators. Ooh, wrong color here. Give us 8 over 12. Simplifying 1/3 x equals 2/3. Multiplying by 3 on each side. 3 is going to cancel. 3 is going to cancel. I'm left with x equals 2. Sounds good. And if you got extra time on questions like these are great ones where you take your x value, you go back up here, you plug it in, and you just make sure it all still works.